First of all, you realize that it is illegal to keep certain quantum of funds at home, particularly for
Hello there, this is Let's Talk Ghana. We're coming to you from the Orange Street in the Volta regional capital of Ho. This is where we're bringing you today's edition of Let's Talk Ghana. And you're probably wondering what it is that we'll be discussing on today's edition of the show. Well, it's something that's been a lot of controversy. It's been the conversations all throughout the weekend, and the final bit of it is that Sanitation Minister Cecilia Depaah has resigned from her position as Sanitation Minister following media reports and stories of a court case, missing cash, and a whole lot of things. Exactly what the backstory is, we get into that when we return from this short break. This is Let's Talk Ghana, where we put Ghana first in all of our conversations. Stay with us. Right then, you're welcome back to Let's Talk Ghana. I mentioned we're doing this from the Orange Street in the Volta regional capital of Ho today. That's specifically for today's edition of the show. But the big story that I've been talking to you about has to do with Sanitation Minister Cecilia Depaah and her resignation. We'll get into the resignation and that statement, which will come up on your screens pretty shortly. But what is the backstory? What exactly is what has happened? The reason why we're seeing this resignation and all of the controversy and all of the conversation on social media. And so the Chronicle newspaper on Friday broke the story that the maid and other individuals had been taken to a high court, or to a court I should say, by the Sanitation Minister and her husband over missing cash. How much are we talking about? And so heard the story. Up to $1 million had been stolen from the home of Cecilia Depaah by her maid, including 300,000 euros, all in cash, and millions of cedis. In addition as well, jewelry, kente items, confectionaries, and other things, a suit belonging to the husband worth over $13,000 and the likes, had all gone missing during the space of a year when these individuals had been working for the Sanitation Minister. What's worse, they didn't realize that up to $1 million had gone missing until the husband caught one of the maid red-handed in the act of stealing. That is when they realized that as much as $1 million was missing, 300,000 euros, kente clothing, fabrics, and other things were missing. I know there's been a lot of talk on social media. Oh, 1 million, it's not much money. Just to create a picture for you as to what $1 million is in cash, you cannot be allowed to travel with more than, is it 10,000 US dollars, no matter who you are. You can't travel with physical cash worth 10,000 US dollars to anywhere in this world. That will be money laundering. Clean as it is, it will be money laundering. And to just paint a picture for you as to how much $1 million is, the women NBA, there are lots of stars in it. The women athletes there don't make up to $1 million a year. Yes, the males do. They get huge contracts and the likes. Dollars a year. Yes, the males do. They get huge contracts and the likes. They don't get up to $1 million. When the show America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, and the likes, when they come up, the winners are not entitled to $1 million. When I was a kid, I used to watch X Factor. X Factor, you have people come together, they are seeking to break the barriers in relation to their fears. They are supposed to be picking up live snakes, scorpions. They stay in a reality house for weeks, and the grand total sum is 50,000 US dollars. And so for a minister of state to have as much as $1 million in cash in their home, that's serious. So that's a picture, and it's not just $1 million, 300,000 euros in cash, and a whole lot. We're going to go into the statement from Cecilia Depaah shortly, but there were calls and numerous reactions, like I mentioned, all throughout the weekend. We're starting off from Parliament, where, amongst many things, Cecilia Depaah will be expected in Parliament this week to answer questions from members of Parliament in relation to the money. So let's take you to Parliament, where that has been captured in the business statement. We'll come back and then we'll hear from some MPs who are demanding answers as well, and hear from Mahama Ayariga and hear from some Ghanaians as well. But first, she being a part of the business statement in Parliament.
Speaker, questions admitted for the week ending Friday, 28th July, are 26 in number. We have 3 questions for the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, 7 questions for the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. We have 4 questions for the Minister for Water and Sanitation. We have 12 questions for the Minister for Roads and Highways.
So, captured in the business statement, don't really know what the resignation will do to all of them, because she will no longer be minister by then, as she's resigned, and the president is expected to accept the resignation, because this is bad PR for government. There's been reactions from the former president, John Mahama, as well, who's described it as scandalous and even tagged the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in all of this and asking questions. But let's take you to Parliament as well, where there's been reactions from some legislators in relation to this.
First of all, you realize that it is illegal to keep certain quantum of funds at home, particularly foreign. So an amount to the tune of millions will be shocking to the bone. And I will appeal to the stakeholders who matter to investigate the matter, so that we will get to the bottom of the issue. Because it is shocking. It is shocking because if you look at the quantum of money that is alleged to be found at her residence, if we got such an amount of money, we didn't need to go to IMF. And that is also a wake-up call. That means we have to go down and investigate all ministers who are serving the country at the moment. What it simply means is that whereas everybody is crying that the state is heating up, livelihoods are getting deteriorated, others are sitting on gold mines. This allegation, that is what it means. So I am appealing to the stakeholders who matter to do further investigation. I think it is important that the minister, as a matter of agency, relinquished her position as the minister, because the reason being that it may interfere with the investigation processes. So the temptation to interrupt with the prosecution processes will definitely demand that the minister clears the way. And that will simply mean that she should do the ultimate thing by resigning. Otherwise, the president must compel her to resign.
Thank you, sir. Millions of cedis, euros, pounds, whatever. The woman should be sacked. You know, but as a minister, you see, her name even came first. You remember during NDC regime, one Honor Victoria, she just dreamt. It was just a dream. And the next day, she was fired. This one, we know millions of Ghana cedis, millions of dollars, millions of pounds. Jewelry worth several millions of, or is it thousands of cedis. And so you think she got those monies through only the husband? No. Madam Cecilia Depaah should be sacked. He usually doesn't sack people. he doesn't think that his ministers go wrong. He thinks whatever they do is perfect. And so I will not be surprised.
Members of Parliament, therefore, they are not the only ones who have been reacting to this and expressing disgust, anger, and a whole lot. The vast majority have been Ghanaians who we're going to be hearing from, but Mahama Ayariga, as well as the founder of the APC, he also had this to say in relation to all of the things that have been happening.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Dr. Hassan Ayariga, founder and leader of the All People's Congress, APC. I have some few suggestions to make. I know that we have been struggling with our foreign currencies. I mean, the Ghana cedi against the major currencies. And it has been tough for government to find solutions to these problems. But the point here is that we are all part of this problem. And the main problem is that many Ghanaians, businessmen and women, are buying the foreign currencies and stocking them because they believe that the cedi will always depreciate. And for that matter, they always buy a lot of dollars. Not that they are doing business with it or they put it in the system to make business, but they are stocking it in their homes. And this is causing the cedi to depreciate further. Why? Because when you stock a lot of dollars in your homes or in your offices or in your banks or whatever, and not putting it in circulation, every time there is scarcity. And this is what is causing the dollar to go up and the cedi always depreciating. I would suggest, if we want to do more business, it is better when we begin to rather appreciate our cedi and do away with the dollar and make sure that the cedi is in constant demand rather than the dollar. When we have the cedi in constant demand, we will have huge purchasing power against.
That's Hassan Ayariga. He is the founder of the APC, as well, reacting to all of this. But Cecilia Depaah, like I mentioned, has been speaking and she's resigned. That statement is coming up on your screens right now, and I'll just walk you through it. It's a lengthy one. It's on the 22nd, that's Saturday of July. It reads, "I write to inform you that I wish to resign from my position as Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources." That's one. It's been a great privilege and honor for me to have been given the opportunity to serve in your government, blah, 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 and blah, like a lot of people would say, because this is not what many individuals will be interested in hearing. But she goes on to say that she's happy she's been able to share in the vision of the president. Then she goes on, "Since yesterday, Friday, July 2023, social and traditional media have been full of stories." Yes, stories about a court case involving a theft that took place last year in the home I live in with my husband and daughter. The stories sought to suggest that I own various huge sums of foreign currencies and millions of Ghana cedis which have been stolen from my home. Well, that's according to the story that had made the way. And just by way of information as well, there was an earlier statement where she sought to suggest that the narrative created is not the case, and that yes, money had been stolen, but the 1 million sum is not as it is, and so it's inflated by some people to create a certain effect. The charge sheet didn't say otherwise. Right. I'm resigning therefore because I do not want this matter to become a preoccupation of government and a hindrance to the work of government at this time. That's what she says, and that she intends to cooperate fully with all state agencies to enable them establish the facts. She goes on to say that I have no doubt whatsoever that at the end of the processes, it will be fully established that I have conducted myself with integrity during my period in public service, and I'll be fully exonerated from all allegations that have filled the public domain in the past 24 hours. I thank you, my dear Mr. President, for the honor done me in giving me the opportunity to serve our beautiful nation, Ghana. Nobody takes this seriously. Who's going to take this seriously, please? Integrity, exoneration. There are questions to be answered, and the state security agencies need to be up and doing on this matter. I will not want to make any prejudicial statement or any comments which would seek to paint a wrong picture, and so we'll just leave it at that. We're going for a break here on Let's Talk Ghana. When we return, we'll end with Alan Tremontaine, who's concluded his campaign in the Oti region, and then we'll call it a wrap. This is Let's Talk Ghana. Stay with us. Right then, you're welcome back. This is Let's Talk Ghana, where we put Ghana first in all of our conversations. We're ending today's edition of the show in the Oti region. It's close to the Volta region because Alan Tremontaine, he rounded up his campaign there over the weekend. Here is sights and scenes as to exactly what happened there.
Ashanti region votes no obetimi to Buhari. Now say we Alansamate say we be the party anymore. Ashanti region they catch them with the 2 million votes at over. What tell you about Obuha na wonya wabini. Obi also na faisusu we nipa and now say one say NDC for there voter region no money dash no you will be a voter region one so wo candidate no obetimi NDC akopere wo voter region na go do su wo mo vote yes sir and then we dress in the so country we say I'm the only candidate who MPP says here. Let me NDC, extra voter region, good for good. I think I brought here a formula in real politics. No, I'm not be and confuse you. And I'm not be that. Which way? So we have a mistake. Now, for 12 money and your opposition. What do you want? What the MPP Mushamo? And I hope Ghana forces you. You know, delegate now a song will be a go by. Traveling for a Maya and a cratchy hand. I agree school. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted that our special guest is a real party man who has dedicated his entire life to public service and who is not seeking to lead our great party and
top leadership of the party have met and decided that they are going to do the special voting in a desegregated manner regionally. So it will be carried out in 16 areas. We are disappointed that they chose that route, but we accept it because this is the leadership of the party and we are part of the party. We hope that they can implement the decision in a way that will make it even more reasonably the public accept the MPP as the party to go with, because the more effective the implementation, the more likely the party will gain trust, the more likely the party will gain public confidence. So we expect that happens. In any event, it is a mere administrative process. It shouldn't be complicated. It should be simple, because it is just on the way to the real election in November. This is not where the flag bearer is determined.
This is an administrative process that is supposed to bring the numbers down. So if they've chosen to do it regionally, then it means the party is prepared to invest in the cost and the logistics and the inconvenience and all that. And that means there's a responsibility to ensure that it is delivered in a manner that ensures credibility and trust. We are still focused on the core A4P campaign, which is to rescue the party, rebuild it, and reward the party for its efforts over the years.
Okay. So far, so good. We are on the constituency tours, and the innovation of Alan Kwadwo Martin is the cluster of constituencies. So far, we've done 2 regions, the Volta and Oti. Today is the last day of the constituency visitations in Oti region. This morning we're doing Dambai. And the resonance, the assurances given by the polling station executives is heartwarming. They do remember Alan's sacrifices. They remember his work ethic, and they also remember his patience. It's across board, especially Volta and Oti. They went as far as saying, we would love for you to replace Papa Rollins for us, because we feel as orphans. And it was so teary and so emotional. I am here and I'm witnessing the show of love and support. Some of the key words and messages we are picking from the delegates is, you have served diligently. You have been very patient. It is your turn. And it's coming from them. It is not staged and it is not rehearsed. You have been on the trip with us. People who are older do recall Alan Martin at Legon, where he magnanimously offered to support our president to take the lead, and when he's done, he will also come out to vie for the presidency. And also, they do recall when His Excellency showed so much love and told him the story of how President Kufuor told him that he has to wait. When he's done, he will come. So will you, Alan, wait, and you will follow me. So these are testimonies coming from the people. In fact, we should be grateful that we have a party that has such a rich history. And I'm so impressed. In Aron, the chairman gave us the history of how deep the roots are in Aron, of how they were part of the UP. And people are serving in these capacities in the party, and they know the history, that this party is formidable. If we are united, we can break the 8. But with the candidate who's credible, who's formidable, who has been diligent and patient, waiting for the delegates to give him the mandate.
Right then, sights and scenes from the O2 region, and that's how we'll end today's edition of Let's Talk Ghana here on Studios 2 Television. I mentioned we're live in the Volta region today for today's edition, the Orange Street here in the Volta regional capital. Who, as always, a pleasure to come your way. Leave a comment for us in the comment section. Many thanks though to Linda Sejojinam Sefanu for doing the camera works for us today. We're back on your screens again on Wednesday with another exciting edition of the show. This is Let's Talk Ghana, where we put Ghana first in all of our conversations. Many thanks for watching.
Studios 2 TV. The truth is here in your eyes.